Today at Manchester Theatres, we are in for a real treat because I am here joined by James Quinn, who is going to be performing in a new play at home from the 16th of October called Going Out Out. Now, of course, we all know and love James from shows such as Early Doors, Brassic, After the Flood, Coronation Street, and he has performed across theatres all over the UK, such as the Old Library Theatre, the Royal Exchange, Sheffield Crucible, Leicester Haymarket, the Old Vic. The list goes on. He is also the co-founder of the JB Shorts award-winning Festival for Short Plays, and he is a regular matchday commentator as well. So actor, writer, commentator. We're doing really well to get some time with you because I know you've just finished rehearsals as well. So thank you so much for joining me today, James.
My pleasure, Karen.
Thank you. So this is a new play, and you are playing a character called Ian. So I don't know too much about it other than he is kind of finding a very unique way through his grief after the passing of his partner. So can you tell us a little bit about the story?
Ian is widowed a few years ago and he's become a recluse. And in the beginning of the play, Raz, who delivers his shopping, bumps into him. And this is the first time they've met because he's so reclusive. Raz normally just leaves the shopping on the outside. And basically, they strike up a bit of a bond very quickly. And it comes out that Raz himself is a drag performer. And gradually, this basically almost invites Ian to come out of himself, and he decides to be a drag performer. I'd have to say about this play, it's so beautifully written, it's funny, it's moving. And you mentioned Early Doors, Karen. I think that Barney Norris's script is in the tradition of that. It's very approachable for anybody. It's very much a working class play, but the themes of it and the humour of it is anyone could relate to, and it's been a real pleasure to rehearse, and it has the music element as well. So a really entertaining evening is in prospect if we get it right.
I'm sure you will. And so we kind of discover who Ian is throughout the play after this meeting with Raz. But what was he like prior to his wife passing? What kind of a person was he? Was he
A,
then?
a bit of a real personality, humorous, intelligent, good conversationalist that we learn, and then he looked after her in her. He took early retirement to take care of her. We learn, and gradually just got used to being at home. And then once she passed, he was too used to it. He called it like it was like an island. They had an island kingdom, and when after she passed, he found it hard to leave the island, so to
Yeah.
speak. So, and he's also become distant from his daughter, Lauren, played by the brilliant actress Verity Henry. And so the play is also about how are they going to be reconnect? How are they going to get over that huge, almost barrier that's developed between them in the intervening years since the mum's passing?
And it's really interesting the way that you've said that then, because it kind of looks at people as, we're all given these labels like you're someone's husband or you're someone's dad or you're someone's colleague or teacher or whatever. And so it's really kind of looking at if you strip all of that away, actually not the things that you need to be for somebody, but who are you? And I guess is that kind of what we're left with where Ian finds himself?
I think that's hitting the nail on the head, really, Karen. I think it's very much about him finding more parts of himself, an ordinary bloke who sees that I could do that. I'm not he's obviously not a professional singer, but he comes out of himself. He's got the personality, if he goes for it, to be some sort of an entertainer. And I think there's something for us all in that. Many of us, we as children, we're very creative, very imaginative, very playful, and gradually, life, society kind of slightly chips away at that and kind of nudges that out of us. And I think that there's a theme there which is very universal for anyone watching it. And it's done, as I say, the script is done very humorously and very movingly, I think, and very perceptively.
Yeah. And Is this your first time? You've talked about learning and coming out of ourselves, and you can always continue to learn. So, is this your first time doing anything that involves drag, or have you done it before?
No, I can't. I don't think I have. I don't think I've. I can't recall doing
Mm.
anything in drag before. I've done some musicals, but not in drag.
So, has that been a challenge for you then, or is it kind of because it is something new? It is, there's everything that comes with it, and there's people say there's like when you do it, you kind of this new person emerges that you didn't even know was there.
I think that's right, and I think that I mean, and there are also the practical challenges of working in
Yeah.
high heels, which I'm not used to. Rehearsing this morning in high heels, and obviously he's not. He's Ian is not immediately in the play. We establish Raz, the other character played by Darren Cuppen, who's brilliant, by the way. But he's established early on his ability to sing and his costume and so on. With Ian, obviously, that gradually develops during the play. But and it builds in that respect.
Mm.
But yes, it's very different. It's very different, and it's very interesting. I suppose it's in a way another version of what the job is of being an actor. If I've done restoration plays in the past where you've got wigs and makeup and very extravagant costumes. So it's another branch of that really, but it is very particular, and obviously there's makeup involved
Yeah.
and all the rest of it. So really interesting components. I really, when I read the script, I really thought there's something about this play that's very special. It's very approachable. It's
Yeah.
very entertaining. It's a bit like things like Victoria Wood's comedy, things like the Royal Family, Early Doors, where whatever background you're from, whether you're into theatre or not, you're going to get this play. You're going to be entertained by it.
And be entertained by it. Well, I suppose you kind of mentioned a little bit there. It's one of them things that, because when you first say like, oh, drag, you think big and flamboyant and over the top and fierce and all of
Mhm.
these things. But I'm from the little that I have read and from what you're saying, I'm kind of guessing that that's actually not Ian's route into it, and it comes from more of a subtle, gentle power that it brings him.
Well, I think that he is this very reclusive, become utterly introverted, and it's beautiful the way that Rouse's character is very almost entices Ian out of his loneliness, his solitude, and I think that it is you. You have a point there that initially it's not necessarily about the drag itself, but because he's been with Raz and he's got some sense of what that is, and Raz has spoken, and we hear this in the play of why drag is important to him, that he's got an example there to
Mhm.
follow and someone who can teach him about drag. So in a way, although he's going to say, I'm gonna go on stage. I'm gonna be a drag artist," and that is because the person that has, in a sense, is bringing him out of himself is a drag artist. Therefore, can teach him and guide him. So I think that the drag is a vehicle for him trying to sort of be the old him, as he
Mhm.
talks about this. Not necessarily because he not that he was ever a drag artist, of course, but that bringing some of the personality out as a way just of getting out of himself.
Yeah. And you mentioned music. So I've read that it's quite a range actually, from like Dusty to Ella Fitzgerald to George Michael. I
Uh,
mean,
George Michael, George Michael is that's not included now. There's been some
ah,
changes as we've developed,
yeah.
but a bit of Ella certainly, a bit of Gloria Gaynor. Um, Taylor Swift. I don't want to give
Oh,
too much away. So there's quite a range in there. There is and from different eras as well.
yeah.
So it's lots of musical tastes are catered for.
And is that when Ian is sort of in the club, or does it feed into the story in
Well,
personal
I
ways?
think it's a bit of both. You see, there's about 11 songs in it, and they're half and half. Really, some are Raz, some are Ian. Raz is sort of in the club. I don't want to give too much away, but basically, the songs we see Raz sing, it's like he's in the club. He's almost like he's an established singer. Some of the other songs, if you like, drift in and out of the action of the play. So
Yeah,
there is a variety of ways that the songs come into it.
got it, got it.
Mm.
And what I was also going to ask, actually, that I don't know if this is the case, but with Ian learning about drag and everything for the first time, does it kind of create that space where people who themselves in the audience might be coming into it via themselves or family members or friends, kind of opens up a space where you might be too afraid in the real world to ask questions in case you're called ignorant or rude, and actually you're just trying to educate yourself.
I think potentially that would be wonderful if for some people in the audience that they are invited to find out bit themselves. It may start with karaoke for some people who like singing. That thing about singing in the bath, dance like no one is watching. People love to do these things, but are inhibited about doing it. And I think this is a story about someone who begins in a very, very vulnerable place and then is able to break out of that. And we see them that happen. So hopefully that will evoke
Mm,
um, uh, thoughts and insights and feelings in people about what they can themselves might like to try.
yeah. But also for their families or friends to kind of understand as well,
Yes, yes,
what queerness means and what the LGBTQ plus community means.
absolutely. Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. I think breaking the illusion that it's some kind of curious thing, an oddity that's got its own normality is very important. And I think it's also the question of many people will know someone
Mm,
who is lonely and is cut off, and it'll be about that's not an end point because somebody gets into that state of loneliness where they don't want to see anyone. They're afraid of seeing people. That's not an end point. That can be overcome. I think it's very important in this. With you've got people living long lives now,
yeah.
sometimes being left alone, and so I think again that's another really interesting,
Mm.
resonant theme of the piece.
Yeah, definitely. That there's always something there that doesn't have to be the end. So you've got grief, you've
Hmm.
got loneliness, isolation, we've got estranged family members, queerness, LGBTQ plus community, all kind of sitting on your shoulders as Ian, plus a big wig, plus you're doing
Yeah,
in heels.
yeah,
Are
yeah.
you exhausted? Are you okay?
I'm okay, but it's we've got a lot of work to do. Is that we've got a wonderful team. We've got Jess Edwards, the director. We're very lucky to have Jess. Fantastic, creates a great atmosphere in the room, and that atmosphere will feed through to what you all see in a week or two's time. And so fantastic. You've got music, and it's interesting. When you start to list all those things, it sounds that's quite an undertaking, but the
Yeah,
brilliance of the script is all the humour
yeah,
and lightness of touch within it, and that's always a sign of great writing and great stuff for people to watch. Is when you take quite a rather sad situation, you might
yeah.
say, but you find a lot of humour and a lot of entertainment within it.
So finally then, what has been kind of your highlights of this whole process?
Well, I think I think doing the script, one of the songs I get to do is "I Am What I Am,"
Oh,
which
wow.
is kind of the Gloria Gaynor style, and these are things that I would never thought because I've done musicals before, but there are songs that I do in this which I would never have thought of doing, and I think in a way that reflects the journey of the character
Yeah.
because he's going into uncharted waters, as a person. So in a way, I am accompanying Ian in that regard.
You're holding each other's hand through the journey.
That's right. That's right.
James, thank you so much for your time today. It sounds like an absolutely
It's a treat.
glorious,
It
yeah.
really is. And 130 seat studio, so the tickets will be going quickly. So
Yes.
do get involved.
Yeah, do grab them. And it's going to be at home from the 16th of October. Come along and support this play that just sounds beautiful. So thank you so much. And good luck with the rest of the rehearsals. And we'll see you very soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.